I am the only child of a single mother. So we went through everything that you can possibly go through. That's not very nice when you're growing up. And to have the opportunity and be able to break that pattern and offer a better future for your own family, and that you have that, you're grasping into it, and that you know that if you work hard, you're going to have good results. That's what keeps me going.
A powerhouse female entrepreneur, wife, mother, doing it all and creating the life of her dreams. She's going to be sharing her story. Today we're talking to Claudia Gutierrez, the owner of Hamburguesas El Gordo. Well, thanks so much for joining me today, Claudia.
Hi, Chayla. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
You know, at a time when so many people were looking at life last year, it looked very different. You were still finding a way to grow and expand your business to open up that fourth location, right?
That is correct. The beginning of 2020 was so uncertain, and we didn't know what's going to happen. But it changed quickly for us. Going into the second month of changing hours of operations and adjusting to the new rules and regulations, we had to even hire more people because the delivery takeout orders were going to the roof. And that's what it helped my business to open 2 more locations after that.
On top of that, you're a mom. You are homeschooling 5 kids. And while you're homeschooling, you're expanding your business operations too. What was it like trying to juggle all of the changes, the transition, not only for you as a businesswoman, but for your kids too, and the way they learned?
It was difficult. It still is very difficult. It was a lot more challenging having to do homeschool. I have 5 children, 1 girl that is almost 18, and 4 boys. The 3 younger ones, I had to do homeschool for them. And at the same time, we were adjusting to all the changes with all the rules that, were given to us, and trying to keep everyone safe at the restaurant so we didn't have to close doors. And at the same time, planning this new location on Victoria. That's the number 3 that was happening at that time. It was definitely difficult. It was a big challenge, and I had to just run as many hours as I could a day.
And what keeps you going? Some people might hear mom, 5 kids, business owner, and expanding, and they may run away from the idea of expansion, but you're running towards it. Why is that?
The opportunity. I cannot just take for granted, and I have to do the best I can and take out as much as I can and grow as much as possible for my family, for my kids, and for the community. I feel like I have to represent my Latino community well.
When you talk about your journey and why you work as hard as you do, tell me about your beginnings. You came to the United States from northern Mexico when you were 15 years old. What is your motivation underneath what we see on the outside, or we see the success? What's underneath all of that?
A lot of people that start companies and that come from an upbringing like I did, I'm sure there's a lot of stories like mine. We know the hunger. We know what it is to not have enough. We know what it is to grow up very limited. So I am the only child of a single mother. So we went through everything that you can possibly go through. That's not very nice when you're growing up. And to have the opportunity and be able to break that pattern and offer a better future for your own family, and that you have that, you're grasping into it, and that you know that if you work hard, you're gonna have good results. That's what keeps me going. I never thought about having my own business, especially growing this fast. We were just going as we could to meet the demand. We started selling food in our house it just was nonstop since day one. So it was like thrown to me, like, here it is. It's an opportunity, but it's going quick. So you either have to run away from it because it's scary. It's very scary. Or you can fight as much as you can to be able to go through it. And so, not knowing what to do, not knowing what's the right next step, but work every day to do your own research and take classes and take courses and talk to other business owners and do as much learning as you can as you're going at the same time. It was very challenging.
Can you tell me a little bit about some of what inspires the menu that you have and what you want people to take away from the foods that they try?
I remember that when I came to the United States, I used to miss a lot the food that you will find on the street from food vendors, street food vendors. That's what I think most of the people that are here from other countries, that's what we miss the most, the authenticity of our food back there. And I wanted to provide as close as possible to the experience that when you go back there, what you can find on the streets of Mexico. I wanted to provide that opportunity here for a lot of people that are far away from their home. There was a big opportunity for hamburgers. Hamburgers and hot dogs are very big in Mexico, just as tacos. And I see that a lot of restaurants were offering, and they're offering now great tacos. There's a lot of good restaurants in Minnesota that have that. But for some reason, we didn't have the option of hamburgers, which are very, very big for us. So I just started doing it at home for friends and family, and it worked. Everyone was missing that little piece of the burgers and the hot dogs, and they loved it.
About 6 years, you have exploded in popularity. When you realized you were onto something, what was that feeling like?
There was no option to stay at home with it. It was just too crazy. First, we started doing it only on the weekends, because it was like a part-time thing. And because I had a job for 11 years that I was doing during the week. But then people were knocking on the door during the week, and they were putting big orders for lunchtime during the week, and we just couldn't. It was impossible to continue at home. It was a very small kitchen that I was working with, and it was actually a customer that we used to have in our home that used to own the plaza where we opened our first brick and mortar. And she was a regular. Every weekend she would come to my house, and she saw the big, the big crowd that we had every weekend outside of the house. And she saw a lot of cars parked out there, and she wanted more traffic for her plaza. So she's the one that offered me that first opportunity to open a restaurant in her plaza, and that's where our first location opened.
It seems like the doors just have continued to open and open and open, and it's sort of leading you to the next thing.
We're not looking for that number 3, but it showed up, and I just couldn't pass it on because it was a really good deal. And the owner of that building, is actually also a customer of ours. And then Plaza Latina had an opening inside their building, and they also offered it to us. And they were big, they were really nice. They helped us a lot to open that location number 2, and which we say yes to.
And what I think is so important in your story, so many people have great ideas and they sit on them, they don't pursue them, or they say all the reasons why they can't. And those great ideas just stay in their head. And you are out here creating the life of your dreams.
I did not go to school. I did not finish high school. I had one semester to go, but I had to work. I had 2 jobs at the time, so I did not. It was really difficult for me to continue school. I was helping my mother, so I did not finish high school. And no, I did not go to business school. I just learned as it kept happening. Every challenge that was coming our way, I did research. I asked a lot of questions. I took classes online and in person. And so, no, I did it as I could. I learned as I could, and I working at the same time.
And you really learn as you go. And sometimes people become paralyzed by fear, but instead of looking at I can't, you're looking at how can I do this? Where can I learn? How can I grow? You never stop learning, right?
I never stop learning, and we should never stop learning. We stop growing when we stop learning. I think that's a nature of me, always going to the next level, always looking to be the best I can every day. And so that, to have those things inside of you help you when you want to start your own business. Definitely it's not for everyone. It's definitely not for everyone. And any idea is a good idea. It just depends on how you execute it. And when you start a business, there's challenges and problems that are going to happen every day. As long as you move quickly on resolving those problems and see what's the best next thing you can do every day, that's what's going to keep you going in the right direction.
If you could say anything looking back at the 15-year-old you coming to the United States from northern Mexico, what would you say to her if you knew that where you are now is where she would be?
Oh my gosh, she had no idea this was going to happen to her. It was completely different things in her head back then. Keep doing what you're doing. You're going in the right directions, because everything that I went through and everything that happened in my life took me to where I am now. So I would just say keep going.
Sometimes people think I have to go to college or I have to follow this certain path to get to where I need to be. There's no one size fits all. Your journey can be your own, and your life can be what you make it, right?
That is correct. That is completely correct. And, if it works for some people to go to school first, and then if their dream is to, have their own business and not work for somebody else, or create something, or be something, or make a difference, it really, I don't believe there is the right way to do it. You gotta be willing to put in the work, to put things, on the side, to not go out, to not have sometimes family dinners, family gatherings, not a lot of friends, not a lot of fun, and work sometimes more than 30 hours with no sleep, then you'll probably make it. At the end, sometimes it's gonna take a few years, sometimes it's going to take 10, 15. But if you're willing to stick it up, it will work as long as you put in the work.
When you look at where you are, what do you feel?
I just confirm that, if you keep working hard, you can go places. I'm working on the computer and I'm always thinking what can be better. But I definitely see that working hard can take you places, and I see the results of all the hard work that I put in. But I always look at what needs to get better and how we can innovate and how we can keep going.
How do you feel about the experience you've been able to create for your family and for your children?
I see it in them. They're learning a lot, and that is very rewarding to me. My daughter is very competitive. She sets her mind to something and she accomplishes. My boys are the same way. So they're taking on a lot from me and my husband. They're learning that if they work hard, they can get places and they can get what they want. So it is really working on teaching my kids good stuff for them when they're adults.
What's next for Hamburguesas El Gordo and for just you, Claudia?
In the next 5 to 10 years, I want to better the company, better operations. I want to have better processes, happy staff working for us. I want to have happy customers. In the next 15, 20 years, I want to see Hamburguesas El Gordo into other states. That's my dream. Hopefully that can happen. Chicago will be my first dream place to be in next.
Well, if you keep going at the rate you are, I have no doubt that you will get there. Continue to work hard, continue to build, continue to grow, and continue to chase your dreams. Claudia Gutierrez, the owner of Hamburguesas El Gordo, joining us today for Let's Chat. Of course, you can find Hamburguesas El Gordo on Instagram, on Facebook as well. Thanks so much, Claudia, for joining me today, and I hope you all have a wonderful, fantastic rest of your evening. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.